Greetings, welcome, 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 welcome to the Foundations of Trust course. This is the intro with the wealth cycle system and deep sea royalty. Thank you for being here today. I am Dion, private citizen, natural born living soul. My mission is to help you connect to your holistic view, to your divine truth, your birthrights, helping you to see yourself, connecting you to resources that help restore the foundation of you and your family. Deep Sea Royalty is much like a virtual cruise line. You see my flag here. This is my logo. This is my brand. This is my crest. Creating courses here that help you connect to your mind, body, and soul, but also coaches and mentors you in a way that supports your emotional well-being and your spiritual transitions. In the book Cash Flow Quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki, it is said to develop into a whole human being, we need mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual education. So that is what we have come to bring you today. Let me lay this disclaimer. The information being shared today is not legal advice. Everything will be solely for inspirational, motivational, and educational purposes. My partner and I are not attorneys, lawyers, CPAs, tax specialists, or any of the like. You are responsible for the outcome of your own journey, and any advice you choose to take, we reserve all rights, liberties, and religion. So I want to introduce you to our Deep Sea Royalty in-house partners. We have Nejma, who is our birth worker specialist, and Trisha, our inner trauma specialist. Bianca, she is our private authorized special metals dealer. So if you're looking to get that gold and silver, she is the one to connect with. And we have Kristen, our sovereign lifestyle guide. And we have Samantha, who is here on the call with Wealth Cycle System, your divine trust strategist.
Hello, everyone. I too am a private citizen, natural born living soul. A quick background, I have been in finance for over 22 years. And in finance, I got to start my own bookkeeping company, which then allowed me to know how trustees keep their books. That got me into, and my family into, learning more about how wealth cycles are created. So now I will present to you, my soul's mission is to create wealth portfolios with others. As the opportunity door started to open, I wanted to assist and share with other families of what my husband and I created. I wanted to assist them in creating their own wealth portfolios for themselves and their families. Together, the families and myself will strategize on how to start a wealth cycle system and how to keep it going for generations to come. Every wealth cycle system is created different per family. However, the objective for every family is to build a solid foundation of knowledge and tangible skills that can be passed down to the next generation. There are many wealth cycles, but today we will focus on trust. I'm going to start at the end. A lot of people take courses and they really want to know what the results are. So let me start at the end. The end results of this course would be to empower you to embody trust from the inside out. The purpose of this course is to light the torch of wisdom that has been dormant inside you. Acknowledge and accept that trust is an unseen energy that consistently flows and operates in every system. It is the universal system that opens and operates throughout your mental, physical, and spiritual body that is constantly creating wealth. And where is the universe? Inside you. Universal trust. Me, myself, and I. Subconscious, unconscious, and conscious. Universal trust. We were born under universal trust. It was taken from us by our oppressors, known as those of upper caste. You heard me. It's caste, not class, meaning to categorize a group of people based on the color of their skin. We were cast down with a purposeful mission and role to play. Think of our bodies as an avatar, and your soul has always been and always will be connected to this universal trust. Recognizing the dowry as a trust. Some people are aware of dowries and some people are aware of trust. However, they have never seen it combined. So that's what I am here to do. A dowry was what the Indians on the West, not the Native Americans, what the Indians on the West used as a blessing and covering to the family. In addition, the dowry was a spiritual protection of the constant wealth of that family. Furthermore, the dowry was given from the bride's family to the groom's family. The dowry was included with the giveaway of the bride. By the dowry being created under spiritual covenant, it was always a part of their family's tradition. The dowry was given to the groom to ensure the stability of the wife and the growing family. If the daughter was coming from an unfortunate poor family, a dowry was still provided to the groom's family. In conclusion, the dowry was their trust. Recognizing how the cultural roles have changed. The men's rights and privileges were granted before women's rights. Even though women had their rights, it was just that it wasn't recognized. So for an example, men were allowed to participate in voting before a woman, as well as men having the privilege of receiving a higher paid salary than a woman, hence why the dowry existed. Getting back to the roles we are supposed to play. Women were born. We were born as beneficiaries. But as soon as the woman or woman gives birth, she is birthing a new beneficiary, and she automatically becomes the trustee of the universal trust for this child. We were unaware of our natural rights, our class, and strong roles we played in it. Let's get back to it. Orbit, origin, originator, creator, trustor, grantor. You see how the word or is throughout all. So or is the power to creation. In trust, the creator is known as the grantor settlor. Grantee, trustee, obligee. In these roles, there are fiduciary duties and obligations like orders that must be honored. So we will move on. Beneficiary. Beneficiary. Now, everyone knows if we were born as a beneficiary, you came through a woman. Notice how the beneficiary is never confused with their role. The only role it has is to benefit from the trust agreement that was created on its behalf. I wanted to give you all a tangible experience that you may have had already. So now I wanted to bring sight to this or bring your vision to what type of trust you may have dealt with and you did not know that it was a trust. So recognizing how we are wrapped into a trust through what is called a mortgage wrap trust. When you think you buy a home, you are really doing a simultaneous sale, which means you bought the house from the seller. The seller gave it to you in fee simple title, which means you have the highest title, which is the only owner. Next, the bank gives you a promissory note to pay them. The bank never signs. It's only your signature. So who is the grantor, the trustee, and the beneficiary in this example? Not only that, when did a trust get created? You are the grantee because you cannot legally give away something that you do not own. You became grantee on the deed of trust that gets posted into the county records. Then they assign it to another bank. So the original contract is sold to someone else, a third-party vendor that creates an identity theft type of situation. Now that this new company calls you, start asking you for payment. The role on the deed of the trust is the grantor being the seller, the grantee being the buyer, the trustee being the bank, and the beneficiary being what is known as MERS, which is a made-up position to have. So you basically gave over your house. Your house was paid in full when you signed the promissory note. The bank, which is called the lender, never gave you a check. So therefore, you did an exchange. You exchanged a promissory note, which had your signature, for a house that was paid in full, and the bank took that contract and went and sold it to someone else. So what contract is still valuable? This is why you have to know of trust. You have to see the game that is playing. This is why we need to be aware of trust. Know thy enemy's game and the rules to it.
Everything has been collateralized. So if you don't know the game, you literally been playing in it and people have been puppeting you in your life. So those of you may have seen this video. I play this during every conference and event that I have because this really gives us a picture of what we believed our lives to be like and what's actually happening in the realities that we have created. So I'm going to play this video, and I just trust that as you are watching, that you just have an open mind, and we're going to help bring light to all of this.
Ah, the government. It loves you and wants to keep you safe and well. It even wants to make paying taxes, fines, and court costs easier for you. How? Well, you'll need to meet your straw man. He was born the same day you were. He looks like you, has the same name, and lives in your house, but you never knew he existed. You will have even paid his apartment for taxes. The worst part? He's been dead from day one. From every birth certificate, a legal personality, or legal fiction, is created with the same name to confuse little old you into thinking it's you. So there's a human you and a paper you, or as it's commonly known, a straw man. So when it seems like government officials, court clerks, or the police are speaking English, they aren't. They're speaking legalese, designed to make you agree to verbal and written contracts without even knowing about it, all sprung from Black's Law Dictionary. For example, when the police say, "Do you understand?" you'll say, "Yes." What they are really saying is, "Do you stand under our authority?" Oops-a-daisy, you just created a verbal contract with them. Oh, you clever government. Do you know that whenever you register something, you are handing over title to the person you register it with? That's right. Whenever you register something with the government, they assume it belongs to them. Registered your car? Super. Now you are the registered keeper of your vehicle, and the government can crush it when you don't pay your straw man's taxes. Expecting a new bundle of joy? Well, then you need to register your little darling with a birth certificate. Then they can start the process all over again and create a new straw man for their little one. Isn't that great? So when Junior grows up, he'll be able to generate revenue just like we have. When you notify on your baby by signing the birth certificate, your child becomes a ward of state. And if the government doesn't like what you're doing, they'll assume it's okay to take the child away or make new rules for things they don't like. Not enough school? Smacking your child? Shouting too loudly? Then it's off to social services for the little one. When you get a bill, it's sent to you but belongs to your straw man, not you. That's why bills, fines, and summons start with Mr., Mrs., or Ms. Sometimes you'll see your surname in capitals, just like on a gravestone. That's because your straw man is dead and just a silly piece of paper, created before you could comprehend or even consent to it. When you go to court, you represent your straw man. So you, the human, take on any costs, fees, taxes, and fines involved for the straw man. The human you doesn't even need to pay them. But you made a contract with the court by appearing on behalf of your legal personality or straw man, just like the government knew you would. Confused? Well, don't worry. The government doesn't want you to know anyway. If you knew, you'd stop paying things like council tax and parking tickets. Because when you go to court, you are representing your straw man. You are you, alive and made of flesh and blood. Your straw man or legal personality is a piece of paper created from your birth certificate. And you think it's you. What a silly Billy.
So they have taken everything and literally put it into a trust. They had it ready for us to be received into their system. And so when we are needing and trying to operate there's a system and a cycle that already exists that we have been put into. As you saw in that video, we are living souls, we're divine, we're sovereign. So when you see a man, you think of man, us. There's John, created by the divine. The name is in uppercase, lowercase letters, already removes jurisdiction. This is about them having jurisdiction over us. Living, breathing soul, under divine law, divine jurisdiction, free, private, natural born, private citizen, guided by our spirit, non-fiction. We're free to use our energy, peace of mind. We have this abundant life. We come from a creator. We're free thinking in every way. We're spiritual. We're stewards. We're trustees. We're entrusted by the creator in all the ways. This has been stripped from us because an estate was waiting and created the day that we gave up the name for our baby at the hospital. The name is what created their trust. They had the paperwork ready to receive. That's why when you walk into the hospitals, those applications that they're giving are actual contracts. We're signing off ourselves as well as our baby over to the state. And an estate is what all of this, when we're talking about trust, when we're talking about the foundation of trust, it is your estate. It is what we also call estate planning. So you're really getting your affairs in order. You're realizing you, the divine living soul, and that being put into an estate and a trust that the government is controlling. So everything created with your social security number, with your passport, with your driver's license, all of these are forms of identification that belong to your estate. It's anything you've acquired with that employee governmental issued ID. And most of us, as you know, we didn't consent to it. It was just assigned to us once our trust was created. So we become federal employees. Those of you that are working 9 to 5s, you have a job. That is you saying that you're going to work on the behalf of this company for them to take money from you. And this is why we're hit with the taxes, because we've been using the social security number, NIN number, SIN number, and these put us into their system to be collateralized. So when you think of the stock market, there's public companies that there's public and private companies like Walmart, Apple, they chose to go public. And so their company was set with a price, a value, just like our birth certificate, set with a value of $1 million or more. And so every time you work, anytime you're doing anything, you're paying into that stock. We're livestock. So we're paying into this. We became federal employees, individuals, bound, slave mentalities. We're trading our time for money. Everything that we've acquired here literally goes to them. And this is why we are needing to create and have a trust in place. This is a system of indoctrination that creates a way of us having poor and limited thinking where we can't even think for ourselves. So you see here it's saying estate, that is anything that you've acquired with your social security number, your NIN number, and your SIN number, your birth certificate. That is the way the corporation was created. You think of like an LLC, on how you file the paperwork for it. We registered it to the state. So the state is the one that has full control over that. Yeah, we sign our name believing that it's ours, but in essence, we know that it all belongs to them. Look at the back of your social security card. What does it actually say? Doesn't belong to us. It's saying it belongs to them. So everything goes over to the state. And when you think about you being a ward of the state and how we really got bamboozled into this, is that everything that is in our name in all caps, this is a part of the business trust that exists. The business trust you've been making money for all your life. When you're believing that it's just you, you're making money. We're in this human experience of thinking like, oh, I'm doing everything that I'm doing for my family, and the government's over here like, huh, I got you. You're actually doing it for us. You're actually making money for our system. So this corporation that's created by the state is a dead entity. It's under codes and acts, governmental jurisdiction. We're slaves to their system, literally. This is in the public, because if you was born in your house, and I love this analogy, it helps the people really sit in with this. If you have your baby, you find out that you are pregnant, you don't go to the doctors, you have your baby in your home, who knows? Who knows that you just had a baby? That's your private business. You didn't tell anybody. Versus when we go to the hospital, which is a public corporation, we are putting them on notice that we're here to do business with them. That's what's actually happening. That's where they bring out the contracts, which they covered it up and call it applications. So we're saying that, hey, we're here to do business with you. And they're like, all right, well, we've got the trust ready. What's the baby's name? So we can go ahead and name this trust, this business, and start it up all in your name. And matter of fact, let me go ahead and assign some insurance with that. Social insurance. That's a life insurance policy guaranteeing that you're going to pay into this, and they're going to be able to double dip in all the ways that they can. So this actually goes back to 1666, where the Pope, he wanted to take all the land, the bodies, and the souls. So the trust that was originally created was the Ceste Cuvée Trust. And this is why the Pope had issued things like Dums Diversas and the Papal Bull. They were exploring the lands to take all the land, the bodies, and the soul for greed. So we've come to a place where they put us up under a system, and we have no rights and control in this system. And we've been signing off on things, believing that we're the owners. We can never really own anything that they've created from their system, which is why we must have trust in place, which is why we must know that we are our greatest asset in it all. Because if it wasn't for us, this wouldn't even exist. So we have to go back to ourselves. We have to see ourselves in this process. So it goes from us, divine living soul, to an estate and a trust being created, and everything going over to the state. So when you think you own your house, your cars, all of that, oh, it already exists in their land up under their trust. So we have to really be kingdom minded in this process as we're planting seeds. Why are we doing what we're doing? Why is it that we need to be aware of this information? Because again, everything that we've created or believed that was really ours is up under our personal estate. So when I'm saying estate, I'm talking about, again, everything that you've acquired from this day, through your social security number, your SIN, your NIN, those numbers. And for my people, that's international family, I'm making sure to include you in this, because this is for everybody. So you're like, is this for me? This is for you. We've created debts. Our debts equal liabilities. We have everything in our name, which ends up being a problem, because this is how creditors can easily come after us, take things from us. And so we have been open ourselves to probate, which we're going to dive deeper into later for those of you that are going to be thinking about investing in the course. We have signed ourselves over, PG'd ourselves as personal guarantor, saying that on applications and contracts, if anything were to happen between you and the bank, which the bank doesn't actually issue any money or loans, we're basically getting that money from our own treasury accounts that exist, our own social securities. There's a whole count that exists that you have been funding when you've been working. So we have been signing off on applications and contracts, giving ourselves away, literally. Social security number, you break it down, you're selling your soul over for them to do what they do. We believe that we have ownership. We believe that we have control. Go ahead, let one bill go, see what happens. They start coming after you. And then we are attacked to the max in every way, shape, and form. So here's where you can create a revocable living trust. This is a trust that you can create that is going to allow you to protect you and your assets. We'll be diving deeper in other courses, but here where you're creating a revocable trust, you want to create something that is going to be amendable, that you can pull documents out of. And this is really a way to get us into proper position, because in our personal expression, we have literally been signing ourselves over. So the proper position really is about getting in layers of protection. So we do encourage that you have a business in place. And if you don't have a business in place, that's something that you definitely want to do. Where you're building business credit, where you're protecting yourself with the LLC, or and you can absolutely get anonymous LLCs without you being listed as the owner. And the reason why is because you don't want somebody to just come over and take all of your stuff. You don't want anybody to come find you. So you can create anonymous LLCs. And having a DBA, you can still be able to operate. DBA stands for doing business as. You can still be doing business as XYZ or in your name without registering it over. The whole goal is to control and not have anything in your name. All right. So by signing on behalf of XYZ, that's what we've been doing, is saying, hey, I am Dion Ali L signing on the dotted line, but we actually need to be saying, hey, I'm the trustee, I'm the manager, I'm the controller, I'm the minister. We need to be in proper position. So wherever you see that signature area, if you've been putting just your name, you're putting yourself in position of liability. So this is where we get into creating the irrevocable trust. This is the family trust that we are inviting you to dive deeper with us into. That is your treasure. That's your passion. That's your legacy. This is your form of privatization. Nobody knows this trust exists but you. And ways that you can, these are other layers in it, is having a binder. Your trust is a part of you. It is in you. Samantha said that from the beginning. The whole message and mission in this is to make sure that you're not just walking away with paperwork, but that trust is in you. And then the physical manifestation is that you have that binder you're carrying around with you, the safety deposit box, nothing in your name. This allows us to have certain tax write-offs. And when we really get into status correction, which is another layer in what I do, it allows you to be in the proper position to be non-obligatory, meaning you don't have to be filing taxes. And there's a way to do tax write-offs if you do. So this is really setting yourself up for 100% tax deductions, the benefits, protections from lawsuits, and all the ways to get your affairs in order. So we talked about doing the DBA, and that there's a fictitious world that we have lived in. And I'm not going to get into it here with the Wizard of Oz, but you can check that out on my Instagram page. Sole proprietor, stop doing business with your social security number. Protect yourself. The social security number is the employee identification number. So when you have a sole proprietor, you're saying that you're doing business as like the DBA with this EIN, employee, employer identification number. So you're transitioning from employee mindset with the employee identification number to an EIN as an employer. All right. And we do recommend becoming a minister. The most powerful people in the land are ministers, pastors. They're like untouchable. So why wouldn't we be? We are ministers of our own affairs, of our house. Our body is a temple. Let's put it together now. All right. So, and we want to begin operating through trust structures. So something that we've lost over time is having this creator's mindset, and that is our inheritance. Many of us believe that we were born to just pay bills, live, work, and die. And there's so much more to life that we can literally tap into the abundance, the creator's mindset, the source of energy of how you were even brought into this realm, bringing this back into your soul, that this is a lifestyle, that you can have an abundant life. We need to think about all the things that influences our reality, that moves us out of this idea of I'm a slave, because we can stay mad and we can stay angry and be in that. Because I was, when I started out my journey of soul awakening, I was mad. But we eventually need to move to taking action and what that looks like. So we really need to think about what is influencing our reality. We've been indoctrinated in many different ways, and there's actions that we actually need to take. And the first part is, what are you listening to? What are you eating? All of these things shape our thoughts and the actions that we take. It is the fundamental thing that shapes our beliefs, is our identity. What identities have we taken on? I just showed you that we became like the straw man, and we've been operating through these forms of identification. You get pulled over and the police officer's like, show me your driver's license and registration. And what do? We show it. So we're essentially saying that we are what's existing right there on our governmental cards. Those are the forms of identifications that we have given ourselves. And identity is a fundamental conviction that we hold to be true, that most of us really never question. When, you know, you're being brought up and you're believed to believe in God, you're believed to have these certain ways of going to college. Why do we believe in these things? Who taught us this? And so it's so important to go back to self and reevaluate everything that you believe in, your values, your belief system, because it's what's shaping your reality today. In the way that we begin moving and making decisions to uproot ourselves from all of that information that we have taken in, is we begin to reflect. We really get to pull out your journal and notebook and sit down and just say to yourself in that process of, what is it that I've been subscribing to? What are the programs? What levels of indoctrination? I have a master's degree, so man, I had a whole lot of unlearning to relearn. And that's what it's really, really, really about. Because within us, we've also acquired a language. This language is the English language, which is hidden with a lot of word spells. Word Magic is a book that I highly recommend. We need to be developing conscious language. So there's a lot of ways that we have to rebirth ourselves in order to move forward. So our plan in it all is to become an investor. We have been set up as a creator. That was our inherent mission as we were brought into this realm, is literally to have that divine abundant life. And I don't know about you, but growing up, I had to go to church, was beat over the head with the Bible, and I was looking like, you want me to believe in God, and this is the lifestyle that we're living? It just didn't match up for me. So I needed to see, I wanted to feel what that felt like, having the abundant life. And the reason why many of us don't get to feel or sit in this within our soul and spirit is because the levels of indoctrination. What are most of us told? Go to school, go to college, get a good education, you'll graduate and you'll make money. That wasn't happening for me. That didn't happen for me. I actually graduated with debt. I had $108,000 in student loan. Y'all check out the student loan doctor. I had all of that forgiven. And we are literally operating in this way that is like the rat race. We're just going and spinning around the wheel. So here's where I want to bring you into this cash flow quadrant that Robert Kiyosaki talks about. 4 ways to produce income. So most of us start out here. We're literally going through these levels of indoctrination, and we're just coming out as typical employees. And many of us are still just employees. And though this isn't to shoot anybody down, I feel like most of us started in this route where we're employees working the 9 to 5, trading our time for money. And this is where we need to move from, this idea that I can only make money through me working at a job. But let me tell you, you are the money, because there's 2 dimensions to everything. Money has a spiritual dimension and it has a physical dimension. And there's things that the creator has literally given us, which are sacred gifts, that there must be something within inside of you that makes you feel like you have a purpose, a greater calling, a mission here. That's you tapping into your feminine creativity, designer side. And removing some of these masculine energies that's like, I've got to just be working, making my money through going to do a job and putting my hands to work. That's hard. That's slavery mentality. So I really want us to move us on this chart into what is it? You are a creator. You come from the creator. You come from a greater source that has designed us in such a way to offer something and bring something to this world. So here's where the passionate energy comes in, and you become operating as you own your own job. So maybe it's something that you pick up on the side, a side hustle that will bring you from this employee trading your time for money to actually you're trading your time for money here still, but in the same token, you are in creator mode where you are bringing in other sources and streams of income so that you can literally move up as a business owner where you have more freedom. You have people working with you to bring out this money source. And you are a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're controlling your assets here. And then we bring you into an investor. So you can bounce between these. You surely can. But the main one that we really, really, really desire all of us to tap into is being an investor, you owning investments, you literally investing in things. That is your inheritance. So those of you know me, I've invested in the Kangen water, the medical devices from Japan. That's an investment. That's an asset. What is it that you're going to be able to pass down to your heirs? One, no longer trading time for money. When I think about my 5-year-old daughter, I'm like, you're a creative baby girl. So what we're not doing is starting in the bubble number one, where you're an employee and you're using your social security number. This is all about setting us up. This is the seeds that we need to be planting. And this is really where we go from just being in the public out here, giving our everything away. We just out here on the cross, like, okay, we need to bring it back in where we start privatizing our lives, our dignity, for the love of God. This is our mission, is getting in position to get the benefits. That is our divine rights. So how do we do this? By no longer using these federal employee identification numbers. You're no longer subscribing to just using that social security number. Get an employer identification number. You can do this through the IRS website. It's not like a sneaky thing that you're doing. You're choosing to operate and show up in commerce as a business. That's how we need to show up. That's your full armor of God right there. Or whatever you believe in, you need to cover yourself up. Can't be out here naked. All right. So this is aligning ourselves with spirituality, our mental capacity, the mind, body, and soul. We're now getting aligned with what it is that we need to do. I literally live by 4 pillars. One of those is being aware. You've got to be conscious every day. Removing the fear allows you to step into and out of your comfort zone, showing up for yourself. The step 2 in that pillar is once you're getting really aware, you're getting clear on what it is you need to do. And 3 is coordinating. You're coordinating the plan now, because that is your inherent right. And step 4 is being a creator. This is what life is about for us, to step into our creator's mission here on this earth. And many of us have been caught up. And so I just want to be here to remind you of the privatization that you can have. Remember going back to that story when I was like, if you was to have your baby in the house and didn't tell anybody, that's private. When you step out into the world, you're now operating into commerce. It's a game. So I want to show you that when we came here, our only bonds was to be a good person, not to murder anybody. So let me invite you into this.
In this country, there exists an ancient constitution which is underpinned by the Magna Carta. It's known as common law, and it is our true law as the men and women of this land. It states that the power lies with we the people, and all it requires of you is that you do no harm to your fellow man or woman, that you behave with integrity and speak with truth. These are your only bonds, to be a good person. It states that the law should be an instrument of justice, not of domination and control. The government should take note. Common law was created to protect the common people of this land. It is common sense, something we haven't seen much of so far this year. Common law empowers you as an individual, a sovereign being. The complex and convoluted legislation used by our governments are created for the exact opposite purpose, to make us feel small and stupid and like we can't fight our own battles. It's the reason we as a people are so lost right now, because we have forgotten who we are and the powers we possess. And it's been orchestrated that
This has all been orchestrated. And until we
in this country there
continue to
exists
become aware of what's going on, we can't move forward. We can't fix anything. So when I sat and asked myself, why are we creating a trust? It became very clear to me that we're losing balance within our body. Many of us are waking up, and then there's those of us that still remain, that are working so hard. You think about your family members and friends. I think about my dad working his whole life. Who do you know that's working so hard? And like, I got to get that pension check. I'm saving up for retirement. I'm paying into my Social Security. And they believe that's all there is to life. And they die. And they have nothing set up. And so when I really was sitting with why we create trust, it's because we were entitled to have dominion over the earth, we the people. And because we're losing balance, we're losing it with the land, we're losing the air space, we're losing it in the water. All of these things are being tapped into. Even our soul, our body's mostly made up of water, so they get us through the water. And we, the people, are what most qualifies the most to take care of the earth. That's why we're sent here. So we're balancing the scales again. And unfortunately, commerce does not concern itself with sacredness. And by this design, operating and embodying our own trust, we are restoring balance back to Mother Earth. This is about equity and justice, about our God-given divine rights. This is about restoring the word God back to its true meaning. Majority of us have abandoned our estates in maritime and admiralty law. That's through what we've been showing you. That's the law of the sea. The law of the land is what we're really supposed to be operating in. That is our natural rights and natural law. So let's dive deeper and reflect. Did you ever hear the voice within you saying that there is more to life than just paying bills? Do you think about your purpose and wonder if you're creating a sustainable life in your career of happiness or in the way that you're currently operating? Deep sea royalty is about going to the deep depths of your soul. And the anchor are these questions that's pulling and tugging at you, saying, What do you want out of this life? What brings you a sense of legacy? What is something that you're going to be leaving behind in this realm? And if you died today, would your loved ones even know what to do? I've seen it in my family too many times to count, where families do the shuffle, the Cupid shuffle. We don't even know. We got to create go funds, all types of things. Why is it that we wait and then try to get it together? It is the worst time because we're grieving. And unfortunately, we have to have those challenging conversations, and we're trying to. So this is the level of awakening. How do you want to express yourself? That's trust. What's in you? What do you need to bring out to the world? That's the physical manifestation of your paperwork. Many of us are walking around with trust documents invested with Susie Betsy Crocker. What do you have in you? Do you know thyself? Do you know what you're leaving to your heirs? We have been bestowed the rights to self-govern. Trust is about governing yourself. How can you govern yourself if someone is governing you? Self-government. The people have the exclusive right of governing themselves as free, sovereign, and an independent state. They may alter or abolish the Constitution and form of government whenever they deem necessary. We have been letting the government tell us everything. Let me not go back to the pandemic. Can't enter in certain establishments unless you are wearing a mask. Does that not come against the way we govern ourselves? Religion is about realigning ourselves. What have we been aligning with? We've been aligning with what they say. And last time I checked, can no one infringe on your religious rights or beliefs, even if you have none, make some up. So trust is about governing yourself. And that binder that you keep is like your backpack, it's like your heart. It should be attached to you because that is you showing up in the world saying, this is me, it's a part of me, it's in me. So you can't come through me, you can't even say anything to me. Boom, here's my binder. That is a jurisdiction in itself. Many people hear about trust and they only hear about asset protection. No, it's a jurisdiction. It's a way of life. It is your own self-government. So many of us have heirs. And even if we don't, we have nieces, nephews. We know someone that knows someone. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children and children's children. And the wealth of a sinner is laid up for the just. An inheritance isn't just limited to money. In materialistic assets, you are your greatest asset. Your values, your beliefs, your skills, your mindset, your health, your wealth is what you are cycling to the people that you are connected to, the people that you love. The truth, this truth that's within you that you're embodying, it includes the godly character or the creator character within you, the source of that energy. So when you combine financial inheritance with wisdom and character, this makes sure that the next generation will manage their blessing God's way for his glory for a long, long time. This is what's being transferred. This is that transfer. So you see, me with my baby girl, for everything you do, think about the future generation. Let us continue to rebuild generations. Let us remember our ancestors. These are our little ancestors. These are our little people here. She's taking over next. So the reason why I even have her social networks and information here is because you see, I've already started building for her. When she was 6 months, she was an independent contractor as a baby model. And then I already had her business trademarked by the time she was 4. And she has her own business. So when I ask her, Imani, how do you make money? She knows. She'll say the money's in her and that she needs to come up with the idea to create. We are creators to create products, services, and systems. I tell her she's a business owner. She's an investor. There's a phrase that says, give me a child until it's 7 and I will show you the man. That is the most crucial time in our life. This is why we have the business partners here with Deep Sea Royalty. Trisha is our inner child trauma specialist. And so you don't have to feel like something's wrong with you. Preventative measures here. And also going back, we have to deep dive with ourselves because whatever we have in us, we're giving to them. So here's what we are inviting you into.
A solid family trust includes everything that we're going to offer. A 15-minute call is devoted to clarifying questions and getting the EIN after the questions are answered. Then after you get your EIN, you would complete a questionnaire to help me and your family go through what name you chose, and I'll be able to put the law in it that you choose, the jurisdiction you choose, the domicile, the situs. These are all things that are important. A 3 1-hour clarifying call on whatever you want to talk about. Complete private, never duplicated, by the way. NDA is also provided. Access to prerequisites of the trust course that are required before calls can be booked. This is why you are viewing this video, so that you can access the trainings before you access the call. So we want to make sure you embody trust in you before the physical manifestation of the soul of the trust is activated. Some of the resources that we will provide are the special meeting minutes, the draft intentions letter from the grantor. It's an example, but your grantor will have to provide the actual one. Indenture and declaration, Schedule A, Schedule B, draft of the minutes, beneficial certificates of shares, certificate of trust, introductory letter for the bank, hold harmless indemnity agreement, deed of reconveyance, trust affirmations. I hope y'all are seeing that we are offering a lot. Last will and testament, a draft of a baby deed, medical and durable power of attorney for the hospital use for spouse, a birth plan, video example of family Bible. The course that we are working on, course 1 is the power of trust. Course 2, a trust and its options. Course 3 is the benefits of trust. So we will get you empowered and ready to know what you're benefited from. And this is when the stages occur where you start to embody right after the part 3. Course 4, roles of a trust. Course 5, the setup of a trust and transferring assets. Course 6, trust management. And course 7, which we are really in love with, is Trust Baby. Future separated courses, future separated subscription of courses that we're working on are car trust, ministry trust, the 509 private foundation, foreign grantors trust, estate planning course with family revocable trust. So we are getting it all ready for you all, and I hope that you invest in yourselves and us with your families.
Yes, yes, yes. So we have a gift for you, and we really, really, really want you to keep in mind that this Cosmic School of Trust was created in such a way that we want you to embody. We want you to embody what you're creating. That's an energy that you can physically manifest your trust, that it's already in you. So you're literally birthing out what you've already created within. And that's why we have our prerequisite courses that are required for you to take before you actually get that physical manifestation of your paper trust indenture, the way you're governing yourself. Because we don't want you walking away with just some paperwork and you don't know what to do with it. You don't know how to operate through it. It's like having a baby and just sitting staring at the baby. Somebody's got to help take care of this and operate it and manage it and control it until it can take off on its own. So we thank you. We have this gift for you. Thank you for watching this presentation with us. Your feedback is greatly important to us. We can't do it without you. So anyone that gives us back a testimonial will be gifted with the option to have access to any of Deep Sea Royalty's previously recorded conferences. I have everything from your soul awakening process, status correction, nationality conference, financial literacy conferences 1 and 2. And so I invite you into that, and we'll email you the details of all of the other conferences. So if this trust package is something that you want to invest in, please email us with your testimonial and phrase, "Yes, I am in the subject bar of your email at deepsearoyaltystream@gmail.com. And for those of you that are interested in any of the status correction processes, I invite you to join us in the Deep Sea Royalty community with the Wealth Cycle System. Samantha and I, the membership includes webinars such as, the authentication process, taking control of your straw man, little variations of trust, but this is what we've built out here. The DBA, copyright, trademark, setting up a private PO box, UCC filing, EIN, injunctions, right to travel, passport bundle, and more. There's so much there. Just DM me the word tribe on Instagram at Dion Ali L, not 2 L's. Watch out for those fake accounts because there are scammers out here, y'all. But we thank you so much for joining us. This would not be possible without you. So again, if you're interested, be sure to send us that email again at deepsearoyaltystream@gmail.com. And until next time, peace, love, and light.
Peace. Ashe.
Ashe.